Hello and welcome back to the video series. In the last video we actually finished off our implementation plan and we started coding a little bit. So we got our tables. So this one we are going to implement the next two phases and hopefully we can actually call our API to see that we have a connection. Now one thing I did realize now when I look back at it that it has created my tables inside my common folder and not inside my source folder as I wanted it to do. So let me just move those because they should not be here. And let me just move those to my app source folder here. Like that. And let's get rid of that folder. Okay. So if we look at our implementation plan and see what our next steps are, we are going to build our user interface and we're going to build our APIs. So let's start. So let's write implement phase 2 in the implementation MD and only implement phase 2. Do not continue till the next phase. And now here, maybe I should actually tell it to put my source file inside my source folder, but let's just see if it now understands that that's where it should be placed now that I've moved the other ones. So let's just see what happens here. Okay, and it's done. So it has created all our pages correctly inside our source folder. Now the one thing I did stumble upon is right, it wrote this as our application area. That's not correct. We don't use hashtags on our application areas. And let's see what it's made. It's made create a card, a group, some totals. Notes, and then it added our list part. That is our list page. And our lines part. So besides that, it looks okay. But let's just tell it to change this because this is not correct. Application area all should be changed to all, so no hashtag. And it's done. Now you could have said this was most probably be faster for me and cheaper of course to do a final replace, but right now this is about using AI, so let's just use AI for it. Now next thing, and this is actually where it gets a little bit annoying with Roo code, and because it's not just sunshine and rainbows everything, we actually have to have another window open for our workspace because Roo code works best outside of our workspace, but we would like to have our workspace open so we can actually compile our code and so forth. So I'm opening another Windows code here. Let's just close all the files and that's open. Which is the same, it's just looking directly at the workspace. And let's see, it's loading. And it says we have some errors. So let's see what errors it says we have. Permission sets, yeah, of course. Let's just generate those. So, and let's call it webshop. And leave that. And what's the error on this one? Let's say the header is missing. And why is that missing? That's because they added a pre-suffix to it. Like that. And let's try to compile. We have an error. Could not find the path. Okay, so we did have some problems in my workspace file. It had could not find my rules JSON, so I just removed that as a folder. And now it compiles. So let's try to deploy it. What did it call it? It called it web orders. So hopefully we will be able to find here a list of web orders, which of course is empty right now, which is what we expected, right? Because we haven't sent anything in. But it looks like it's here. So let's move on to the next phase. Just close that. And start a new task. And then let's say implement phase 3, which is our API layer, right? From implementation MD and only implement phase 3. Now I was just actually thinking if we should let's just see. Let's run it. While this is running, we might as well add our new permission set to our app registration or intra application. application here. So here we should have a new one called webshop. So our Excel has access to write to those new tables like that. Let's go back here and see that's the wrong window. Oh, that's not. This one is running, so it's asking us a question. I will implement phase 3 API. Before I proceed, I need to confirm the namespace used in existing files to ensure consistency. Shall I check? Actually, we haven't added any namespaces. So yeah, let's just tell it to check, but it's probably not gonna find anything because we haven't really used namespaces, which of course is not ideal, even though we told it, as far as I remember, as part of our rules, that it should use namespaces. It has not done so. Maybe we didn't tell it. I just thought we did. So maybe that's why it hasn't added any. Yeah, apparently we have. It doesn't look like I have actually told it to use namespaces. So I guess it's fair that it has not added any namespaces. So let's just do that afterwards. So it has now created our API pages. So we have the line here. And what else has it created for us? Up here, our header. And the header has an action, which it should not have, because you do not have actions on API pages. And as far as I can see, it has not, no, it has not added the other one as a part, as a sub. So let's just tell it that there should be no actions on the API pages. Also to add a sub part for the web line to our so that we can call it with expand. Also add all my objects to a name space called Fredborg.webshop, something like that. And it's done. So let's see what it has created. It has added namespaces. Let's see what it's done for our API pages. So it also has a namespace. It added our part here. And And it says root now action. So on the service, everything looks fine. So let's try actually go over here to our other one that's open in our workspace, and let's reload. Again, it's kind of annoying. You have to reload because otherwise you're not sure that it's actually understood the new files has been changed, and therefore it might be running on an old version of the code. Hopefully this is something that will get fixed at some point in root code, that it can actually work properly inside the workspace folder. Another way to get it to work inside the workspace folder is if, for example, if you're not using multi-root, because then it wouldn't be a problem, because then you can put all the rules inside the applications folder itself, and then it's contained there. Okay, so it's done loading. So let's see if we can compile. It compiles. So then we know it can be shipped, right? We can sell it. Let's just deploy it. See what. I mean, we shouldn't see any difference, right? Because it's the API pages that we have added. But let's just deploy the code to the environment so it's there. And let's see if we can actually call these API pages now that they've been deployed. So let's see, we have here. It has given us an API group called, okay, so our publisher is my company. Maybe not really the greatest name, but let's just go with that. So let's change this one to my company. And the API group is webshop. Yes, and it has, our entry name is webshop orders. Okay, authorization, yeah, let's see if we can call it. And it's successful, of course, we're getting a blank because we don't have anything, but the API page is there and we can call them. So that's fine. So that's actually what we were going to create new things here. So let's finish off by saying update our memory bank. And let's see if it understands that. And it's done. So it has updated our different things, right? Our project structure, and it has the patterns, our progress. So it says it's completed phase 2 and phase 3. That's correct. And also here, the next phase is phase 4. So that's actually fine. It did take some while, so it's actually up to you, of course, if you like this memory feature or not. It's not strictly necessary. I just like it to be able to always know how far I've gotten. And last thing, of course, is that we are going to run our commit command, so we can actually get all our code committed into different commits if necessary and described and so on. And while it's doing that, let's just talk about what we actually done now. So in this phase, we added the UI and we added the API pages. And as you also saw, there were some things along the way that did not work out of the box. And the funny thing is, of course, if I ran this another time, it might have worked. So that's with AI, we still have to keep on reading the things and looking and making changes ourselves. And sometimes it's easier for us just to change things ourselves manually than having AI to do it. Like the place where I used to, all the application area was replaced. I mean, it would have been faster for me to just do it manually. So that's always something you have to think about. if something should be done with code actions or manual work, or it has to be done with AI. But again, shows very much that even though we have all these rules and we try to all this set up, there's also something we're missing. Like we also missed the namespaces. So that should also be a rule you have to remember to add to your rule, so it knows to always use namespaces. Anyway, let's just see when this has been committed. It's done this. Let's see what's saying down here. Let's run that. So it's saying, right, it's going to create these things to be committed. Anyway, there's no reason for you to stick around to see all of this. It doesn't give you much. Or maybe actually not, it's actually done, I can see. It's just summarizing. But it's created a new commit message, which I'm just going to sync. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video. Stay safe and catch you in the next one. Goodbye.